Hey, this is Pierre. I got a review for you today of a new racket from Xamsa in Canada. This is called the Xamsa Duro 120, which is mysteriously only written in that little spot in there, I think. Xamsa. Xamsa's come out with a series of rackets over the years. You can check out a bunch of them on Squash Source, a bunch of other video reviews. They have specialized in making very affordable frames, making it really easy for people to try rackets, get into squash, and get a decent racket for a competitive price. They stick with proven frame shapes and don't put too much into they're mostly similar to this design. This is what's the opposite of matte? Glossy black color with a silver inside, and they're all got that black color scheme with I love this, the up and down on the butt of the racket. Now, most of the rackets to this point, this is their least expensive racket so far. This one I think is going for 65 bucks Canadian, so maybe 50 bucks US. So it's their first entry into that kind of beginner frame price point, I guess. Although, as usual, they're coming in a bit less than some other beginner frames. Thanks to Tim from Xamsa for sending me this racket to review for everybody. I hit with this. It was actually over a month ago, I would say, and I recorded a review and the sound was all weird. So it's been a little while since I hit with it. But what I remember picking it up was thinking, oh boy, it looks like it's going to be a kind of a bobblehead. It has a large head and it's got sort of a thin shaft, and I was worried that it was going to feel like any off-center hit was going to feel wobbly, or that even just taking a swing was going to feel kind of shaky, I guess you could say. But I like this a lot. I guess it's their lower end racket, but I did like it immediately and played well with it. Right out, it didn't take much adjustment at all. It's 160.3 grams on my scale and a balance point of 36.5. So it's not very heavy, and it's a little bit head heavy. And given all those things, I liked it. It has a pretty, decent sized head, a forgiving head, large enough to be forgiving. And I think this is an excellent choice if you're looking for, a starter racket. You don't want to spend a ton of cash, and you just want to have something that's not super heavy, like some of those beginner cheap rackets are just crazy heavy. I actually haven't played too much with them, to be totally honest, but just looking at the specs, they're super heavy. And this one has a little bit head heavy, which I think is good if you're a beginner. I kind of prefer slightly head heavy rackets, or I go back and forth, but I think there's a lot of merit to that. It kind of helps you carve out a swing, and if you have a really head light racket, that can be really handy if you want to use a lot of deception in your game, and you want to be able to whip the ball really fast. But that takes some practice and a lot of racket ability. So I kind of like that this is a touch head heavy. Xamsa are coming out with another one with the same frame shape. I think it's called the Crucible. I'll be reviewing that pretty soon. But I wanted to quickly do this review for you of the 2017, this is when it's coming out, Xamsa Duro 120. Thanks.